So we are back again with another All Things Arsenal podcast, and this week I'm joined again by Jez. Jez, how you doing?
All good, all good. Looking forward to the North London derby. Always an occasion of the year, especially going to Tottenham, although we haven't got a great record there in recent years. So it's all to play for. I just hope we don't get embarrassed. I don't think we will, but as I said to you backstage, I'm going for a draw personally. And I hope Arsenal will come out and start in blocks like they did against Leeds United.
Yeah, me too. We'll get on to that. So we did play Leeds. We had a good victory over Leeds, I'd say. Definitely the first half, really dominant, really good playing. That's something we haven't really seen this season from Arsenal, is that first half dominance. It's always come later in the game. But what were your thoughts on the Leeds game, and what do you think is the main point to take away from it?
Well, let's go positive first of all. I thought they started out very, very well. There was, intensity, passion, and Leeds were didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, typical poacher's goal, great poacher's goal from Eddie, brilliant. And then again, second goal, brilliant. But then we backed off. We should have ended up that first half 4-0 up, game over, walk away, heads held high, but we didn't. And this is one of the things that concerns me with Arsenal, is that we don't seem to have any more this absolute killer instinct. Teams like Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea to a point, when they get in that position, they go one extra mile and kill a team off, and then it's brilliant. But it was a positive start. Second half, I thought, was lackluster. We allowed a 10-man Leeds United to get back into the game and put ourselves under pressure. Their first shot on our goal, they score a goal because of defensive frailties again. Yet, I'm told, Arteta's fixed the defence. I can't see where. But we need to start that game on Thursday with that same intensity. We need to put Spurs on the back foot, so let's hope we do. But overall, it's a good result, 3 points. It's, to my belief, put us into Europe, whether it's going to be the Europa League or Champions League. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting. But I think from the Leeds game, as you said, it was very strong. That red card challenge could have broken his ankles. He is so lucky that he jumped. He literally did the slightest jump just before he saw him come in, did the slightest jump. If he did not jump, I guarantee you he would have snapped something.
All day.
Clean, break, And by the way, sorry if you can hear children in the background. The window's open because it's about 21 degrees and everyone seems to want to be in their gardens. But that was 100%. Why the referee didn't give that red straight away, I don't know.
I think he was a bit unsighted. I mean, I used to be an amateur referee. I refereed a fairly decent amateur level, but sometimes you can be unsighted to actually see where you think, referees run the diagonal, corner to corner. That's why you have your two linos at the opposite parts of the pitch. And sometimes if you're in that quarter and the referee's not fully in that quarter, you can't actually see it that clearly. And if you've got players in front of you, so I think in that occasion, that's where VAR is useful, because they straight away went to VAR and the cameras obviously showed 2 feet going in, studs up. As soon as you do that, you're off. That's,
Yeah.
that's serious foul play. Good night. See you later. And I believe he knew when he got that yellow card, he knew that was going to VAR. You look see his face.
Yeah.
You'd see it was going to go to VAR, and he knew he was walking. And thank goodness that Martinelli didn't have his studs grounded, because that would have broken his leg. No question.
Yeah.
I remember it happened to Ramsey that time.
Oh.
And that was awful. I mean, that was horrendous. Unfortunately, as a referee myself, I was witness to two players in different games having a leg broken, and you can hear it like a gunshot.
No.
You hear that, and it's like, oh God, And it's not something you want to witness. But
no,
thankfully, it didn't happen for Martinelli. As you say, it could have been. It had been out for a year, and it
could be career-ending. Those type of challenges could literally wipe someone out, especially with his history of his knee as well. He was out for a very long time with his knee, and something like that could snap multiple things, especially when you've had an injury there before. Dreadful. And I don't know. There was no danger. There was no reason for him to go in like that at all. It was on the line. Silly challenge by their captain at the end of the day, but that didn't stop them in the second half when we took our foot off the gas. And that's something we can't do against Spurs, because they're going to take advantage of that big time, and it could come back to bite us. But we're going to get on to the North London derby. It is a massive day in the calendar for Arsenal fans, and I don't know about you, Jez, but I get quite nervy on a North London derby day, and I don't really sit down for the game. What would you say is your earliest memory of a North London derby?
That's a very good question, actually. Been to quite a few, home and away. Probably an unfortunate one, but it was the most memorable for me. I would have been 18. We were away at the old White Hart Lane, and it was a day before Christmas Eve, and Arsenal won 5-0. Stapleton got a hat-trick. Liam Brady and Alan Sunderland scored the other two. The whole thing was a party atmosphere, because Christmas was around the corner and all that. That was a great result. That was probably at that point in time our biggest score in my time anyway at Tottenham, and it was. But unfortunately, a few bad things happened after the game on the way home.
Yeah.
But that was how it was back in them days. But that's probably my earliest, biggest memory.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to North London derby yet. My plans for the future definitely hold that. My parents haven't let me yet because of what happens, and it's not really a family occasion when you're younger to go to a North London derby. It could be absolutely brutal. And so I would say watching it, my earliest memories, we kind of have a family tradition as well. Like the generational Guna comes in, and we all have our own different ways. I mean, we used to go around my granddad's house, and we would sit, and there wasn't a lot of sitting going on. My granddad would be up and down in the hallway, be in and out, like couldn't stand there to watch it. And from an early age, I was doing that. I was sitting there, we would watch it. Or and the amount of swearing and shouting at the TV, it's definitely been passed down to me. I don't swear, but I definitely shout at any little thing, because North London derbies put me on the edge big time, because I still have to go to college or school and get it in the neck if we lose. But it's always a great occasion though to get the whole family together. We're all sitting there, we're all watching it, and it's like this little unity of a bubble. All the fan base, no matter what side you're on, simultaneously comes together for this big event, because we all hate Tottenham. No time, I can't even say the word. Like, it actually angers me to even say it. And So that's what I do. That's my little tradition. I put my shirt on an hour before the game. Um, or it's an hour, or if I'm not away or out, I wear it all day. Like from the moment I wake up, I'm putting it on because I need all the luck I can get for the day. And then on normal match days, it's just an hour before the game on the dot. Little
You
luck and
wearing your
tradition.
shirt to college tomorrow?
I will on Thursday. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. I might do.
I keep saying, I keep thinking I keep thinking today's Wednesday. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
but
don't know. I might do. It depends because my history teacher, he better not chuck water over me again. I swear. If he gets my Arsenal shirt wet on a North London derby day, we're gonna have problems. But no, I might do. But there's a lot of Tottenham fans in my school, so I might steer clear and uh, and not bother. But it should be a good. It's always a good day. The atmosphere is great, even though I'm like sitting shaking before the whistle goes in pure desperation that we win. But we're gonna get into what we think is gonna happen at the game. Jez, what are you thinking? Could we go win it? How do you think we're gonna come out and play?
of course, we could go out and win it. Let's be honest. Arsenal and Tottenham, we've both had shaky seasons, so it's all to play for. You know, my personal belief, it's a North London derby. There's no other game like it in our seasons. Yeah, years ago, we used to have the big classic battles with Man United when we and Man United were vying for titles. We forget about that at the moment, but the North London derby itself brings it all out. You know, it brings out the rivalry, it brings out the hatred. Personally, I hope Arsenal start with intensity and the passion and the way we did against Leeds United at the weekend. If we don't, Spurs would be straight on us and put us on the back foot. We can't let that happen because, let's be honest, we haven't got a great record at Spurs for quite some time. Yeah. So we need to get out there, get on them, get in amongst them, start pushing them onto the back foot. But I am going to go 1-1. I think there's both teams will be wary of each other because both teams, to be fair, have been up and down. Yeah, but I saw today people saying, yeah, but we've won the last 4 games on the spin. Okay. Against a very poor Chelsea, who didn't turn up that night, against an absolutely shocking Man United team.
Yeah.
One of the worst Man United displays I've seen in a very, very long time. And we get a result against, let's be fair, 10-man Leeds, where they nearly came back at us. Could have made it 2-2. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
So Tottenham went away, got a draw at Liverpool. Something we can't get. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tight. But I'm going 1-1. But we all know in those sort of games, somebody could nick it at the death. So we've really, Arteta's really got to get the boys up for it. And those players have got to believe in their ambition that they've got to come out with that with positivity. Because, if we lose that, it's going to be awful.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. If we do lose, we're really putting ourselves on the fence if we want to qualify for Champions League, because it could come down to goal difference points, and at the moment we would have to score about 9 goals against Tottenham to be above them on goal difference in terms of that. So it's ridiculous, and I think it's going to be very tight. And I'll get into what I believe the team will be in a second, up on the screen, but I think we have to go out and show that they're up for a North London derby. This is not any game any game in the season calendar, it is Tottenham. The history's there. We know the fans are going to be up for it. The away fans are amazing. The Spurs fans, you know, they're going to turn out in full. The stadium's going to be packed and sold out. Let's be fair. You know, it's the biggest event, and yeah, we have this thing where, you know, we go to them and lose. They come to us, they lose, and I'm hoping we're going to break that, because I think 2014 was the last time we beat them away.
Yeah,
And
Zicky, wasn't it? Was Zicky
yeah,
scored a goal 1-0?
yeah. Yeah, it's a long time, and they have to come out and show they mean business from the get go. And we all know, like, I think we're going to get a draw, and I think it's going to be Harry Kane with a penalty, and probably I want to say Martinelli, but you know, Nketiah's probably going to play. Will he score? I don't know, but I'm going to get the last game against Leeds lineup up, because I think this is what we're going to go for. It's been what it has been for a little while. So let's get it up. So this was the team against Leeds. I think this is going to be it. You know, Tomiyasu's fit. He's slotted into that role there. Cedric on the other side, and you know, I think that's what we're going to go through. What are you thinking in terms of lineup?
No, I'll be quite happy with that. My only one criticism was Tomiyasu for the Leeds goal. He tracked into the centre of the penalty box and left that fella totally unmarked, and he scored that goal from that corner. And unfortunately, you know, Arsenal have been pretty decent at defending from set pieces this season, but that was inexcusable. You know, when you're playing at left back and you've got a play and he goes in, what was he doing? Who was he marking? He should have been on that fella.
Yeah.
And if he'd been on that fella, that shot wouldn't have been incoming. So, you know, Ramsdale had absolutely no chance on that. The power, you know, quick, no messing about, bang. And Tomiyasu is 5-6 yards away from him.
Yeah.
Now, we can't afford to do that tomorrow with Kane and Son playing, you know. That's my one concern. I'm more than happy with that lineup. At the moment, Nketiah starting. He's in a little bit of form.
Yeah.
You know, so fair play. I do not want to see Lacazette start. I really don't, because I think that guy's dried up, and I think he's on his way out, quite rightly. I think his time is done. I mean, even when he came on for the 90 seconds that he did on the Leeds game, he didn't really touch the ball at all.
No.
So I don't want him starting at all. So I'd go with that lineup again, you know, and let's get it right, Gracie. It was us, you and me, that called bringing El Neni back into the team.
Yeah.
And Arteta obviously watched us that night and said, yeah, they're right. So everybody they can thank us.
You heard it here first, people. Arteta watches the channel, but you know, I think it's what we can do at the moment. We're trying to make the best of our squad situation until the summer. We don't really have much choice to play a team like that in the formation we're playing it in. And Tomiyasu's fit. Pepe did come on quite early, and Saka did come off 62nd minute. Whether that was to save him for Thursday, I don't know. But that probably seems like what it is. But Martinelli, he was trying. He really wanted that goal, and then he had cramp and he came off. Yeah. And you could see in his face how upset he was that he came off, because he wanted to carry on. He wanted to keep going. And he hasn't scored in a while. I mean, since he got that red card, not been the same at all. Since then, he hasn't scored. He hasn't done anything like you'd usually see. But the one thing he did do, a highlight from the Leeds game, was that cross.
Yeah, absolutely.
That cross was perfect. Well, absolutely perfect. You know, in the right position, and he made some beautiful passes. Some of the through balls led him in recent times, some of the through balls he has given has, led Nketiah to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper because it's literally perfectly placed. And that's what he's been good at. I do want to see him get more goals, but I think in the position he's in, it's difficult, and it doesn't look like his natural position, what he could really do the damage, because his pace is just unreal. It's insane, and then his technical ability on top of that is amazing. What do you think on Martinelli's recent form?
Yeah, I agree totally with what you're saying about he seems to have gone off form in my book on his shooting. I mean, one attempt he had against Leeds at the weekend was absolutely woeful, but he is a great provider of crosses into the box, which obviously Nketiah needs. And they obviously seem to have a good link up, so we can't complain about that. I think the fact of where he's playing may not always help his ability to get into the box so much now. I think he is missing, personally, I think he's missing Tierney, because him and Tierney have great link-up play. I don't think he's got that this previous game against Leeds with Tomiyasu, although we do know that Tomiyasu, when he's played on the right wing with Saka, they had some great link-up play.
Yeah.
So, maybe that will improve this game if they do play. I hope Martinelli starts. I hope he hasn't picked up some niggly injury from that horrendous tackle, which could have lent partly towards the cramp problem. I'm sure the physios that have been on him every day since that game to make sure there's no issues. But I really like Martinelli, and I just really, really hope we can keep hold of him this summer transfer window. Yeah. And some team like Man City or Real Madrid or whoever, come in silly money and turn his head. Because a young player like that, once they get a big team, dancing around them and saying stuff, they can have their heads turned. And I don't want that. I really want that guy to progress on at Arsenal.
Yeah, big time. He's a massive asset. Massive asset. And for what he bought him for, he's going to quadruple his, his worth. He's incredible. He's absolutely insane for a player his age. Brilliant. His pace, I just can't get over it. It's insane. He's 1 minute he's in one place and the next, boom, he's in the next. But we're going to touch on some breaking news very quickly before we move on to stuff Arsenal. Man City have agreed personal terms with Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. Now that is a huge signing. That could change quite a lot in terms of next season, I think, because that guy, something else. What do you think on this recent news?
Well, scary for everybody else.
Yeah.
Great for Man City. The only thing I will say is he's brilliant in the Bundesliga. Will he be great in the Premier League? And I'm sure he will, because that guy is a different level. But we have seen players in the past come in to the Premier League and just not hacked it. Yeah. But I'm sure that won't be the case, because I think that guy is absolute quality. And it's a shame that Arsenal can't anymore at this point in time try and get people like that in. Back in the day, we did get world-class players come in. I can't honestly say we've got any world-class players at Arsenal now. And if anybody does think there's a world-class player at Arsenal, then I'd love to hear what they've got to say in the comments. But I think the last world-class player we had of any worth was Alexis Sanchez.
100%. We should have never let that guy go. Honestly, he went to United, went downhill big time.
He did.
Really did.
It was all because, Arsenal were lacking ambition. And the guy wanted to go out and win stuff. but I think it was the worst mistake in his career.
Yeah.
Going to Man United, he clearly didn't get on with Jose. And when he left there, he hasn't done a lot of great stuff since, has he? To be fair, which is so sad. So sad, because he was a fantastic player for Arsenal.
Yeah.
But Haaland, oh my word. Can you imagine Haaland up against Ben White? Can you imagine?
Oh God, we're over already. Even thinking about it, it's scary because. But the only other thing that is a factor is you don't know when you're putting a group of top players together in a team. You don't know if that's going to work, because you look at PSG, they're a great team, right? But really, if we're looking at, they're a team of individuals as well. Messi, the lot, all of them in there, Mbappe, all of them. They're a team of individuals. You don't know if they bring in Haaland and they put him in, will it work? I think it will, because they've got some serious players. But it just proves that clubs are moving up in the world in terms of the players they're buying, the money they're spending. It's ridiculous. Especially City. We know what City have been like since they got their owners. Ridiculous amounts spent. I think it's hard to sit here and compare when you've got the likes of Newcastle's going to spend a lot in the summer. And they're talking about giving us 150 million budget. We need way more than that. More than that.
All day. I mean, that's a great comment you just made about PSG. You are quite correct. They've got a lot of individually brilliant talent. But that individual brilliant talent does not always play well together. And that is where you need to have a top manager that can nurture that amongst those individually brilliant players. And Man City have got Pep Guardiola, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the greatest and best managers in the world at this point in time. So, I can see it happening. Jesus will be on the way out. And
I think we should get them.
Arsenal, yeah, absolutely, all day long. And I think he's quite favourable about coming to Arsenal.
Yeah,
things I've read. But then again, they're talking about Sterling. I do not want Sterling. No way. He's not. He just, to me, he's just not strong enough. And I'd rather take Jesus than Sterling all day long. But I'm so fearful that it's almost done, isn't it? Haaland,
it's done. Man City have confirmed it themselves on their Instagram. So all they got to do, talk to Dortmund, agree the fee. They're talking about a 70 million release clause on top of transfer. It's a lot of money. We're just going to get into the comments here before we continue, because there is quite a few. I will be doing a transfer show at the end of the season and in the summer. So watch out for that. As news comes in, I will try my best to deliver it. But last world-class player was Alexis Sanchez. I don't think Alexis was on the world-class level. He was a top player, but I think Van Persie was your last world-class player. Do you agree?
No. Van Persie had one good season at Arsenal. We nurtured him for a long, long time. And for the previous 8 years, he's always injured, whatever. He had that one great season. And quite rightly to him, fair play to the fella. I'm not going to slag him off. He sat down with Wenger. They were talking contracts. And he obviously saw that the club weren't going in the direction he wanted to go, and off he went. Fair play. These people, they are professionals. It's a relatively short career. They want to win things. And he could see that Arsenal weren't going to win. So he said, sod you lot, I'm off.
No, exactly. And he went to United.
And to me was just a different level.
Yeah, that guy was insane. Absolutely insane. And Van Persie, I I literally idolized him when I was growing. That season was when I was growing up and I was really coming into football and I was really, really watching it.
Mm.
And, I understood the game. I literally idolized that guy. I'm pretty sure I had a poster of him on my wall. He was it. And then he went to United. And, it's what happens. These players, they do have lives. They can't be tied at a club forever. There's massive factors. It's their jobs at the end of the day. They have to think about, as well as being a footballer and winning. So there is that. Sanchez was never the best in his position. Van Persie at times was the best striker in the world, especially at United. That goal against Villa was just gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, we're talking in terms of our team here and our last world-class player. So, I don't really remember Van Persie because it was too long ago for me to remember. But Alexis Sanchez, we should have never let him go, and it's down to our lack of ambition, which no one can deny it. A lot of players have been telling us this. Have been saying this. Players come through, they go. You had Willian, and then when we tried to sign Vlahovic, he said the same thing. So it is a massive issue, and it has been for years. Haaland, the biggest issue is injury record should be something to watch, but I'm amid that he will be quality.
Yeah.
I mean, they're two different leagues. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, you got Haaland and Ronaldo in the same league. We're talking here. It's going to be insane. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm especially, if when Man City go against Man United, if it's Ronaldo, Haaland,
Cool.
I think it's going to be a good game to watch. And I don't watch other teams that often, but I will make myself available to watch that game for sure. I will try get through these as much as possible. But big up to this guy, by the way, because he did comment on my reaction to Arteta signing his new contract. We did have a debate in the comments. If you want to, contact me on Instagram, and I am up for having a debate on here if you're up for that. If you contact me on Twitter, Gracie-Mae, find me on there, and send me a message, and we'll try sort something out. But we did have a debate, and it's easier to do it face to face, I think, and instead of doing it over comments. So let me know. But what do you class as world class? For me, as a world class is someone who has won a European Cup, a World Cup, and their national teams, and won all the big titles with their team in their respective leagues. Jez, what do you class as world class player?
Well, that's a great comment, but let's get it right. There's not many people in football who have won European Cup and a World Cup with their national teams and won all the big titles with the team in their respective leagues. And case in point, Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
Won European Cups, the leagues, never won the World Cup, but won shed loads of trophies. So to say a player has to be world class to win the World Cup and European titles, or let's say in South America, that's a massive ask. I mean, you could even say that about Maradona. All right, he won the World Cup, right? But he didn't have a great amount of trophies in domestic football. No. So I class a world-class player. My classification is that player has to be up in the absolute elite. I mean, Thierry Henry, world-class. Yeah. Won the World Cup with France. Patrick Vieira, fair enough. Thierry Henry went on to win the European Cup, but not with Arsenal, but all the time he was at Arsenal, in my book, he was world class.
100%.
Greatest striker at the time in world football, in my book, and in the Premier League. And a lot of people know far more about football than me would agree with that. So, and he's an absolute legend of Arsenal Football Club. So that, to me, is a player that has the absolute ultimate inability and achieved so much for the club in what they achieve. That is world class to me.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And we ain't got one.
No, hopefully the summer might bring something, but I mean, you know, it's going to be a very competitive window, and you've got to get in fast. But coming to this quickly on world class players, would you say Harry Kane is a world class player?
No, I think he's a very good player.
Yeah,
he's very, very, very good.
He hasn't won anything.
No,
in his career, he hasn't, and that's what makes him. In terms of his ability, he's up there. He's in the top tier, but for the pure reason, but while being at Tottenham, his whole career, he has literally never won a trophy. You know,
Nothing.
literally, and it's going to come a time where he's going to have to leave. I think at this point.
I think that nearly happened last year, didn't it, with Man City? And I bet he's absolutely so peed off now because Haaland's going there. He knows that ain't going to happen. You know?
No.
So they're not going to come knocking on the door again for him. I would be very surprised if they did.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Van Persie to me is more world class than him because he went on to win with Man United. So says it all, really.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, he may walk into any team and be number one, but you know, a player, he is good. I'd
take him.
He's very good. He scores a lot of goals every season, no matter if he's been injured, nothing. He'll still come and he'll still be up there. So I think he's on the cusp of getting there. I think a trophy would just, you know, he needs to win something.
Do you know where I could see him going?
Where?
Man United.
Really?
Yeah. I think
he would never come to Arsenal.
Not now.
No.
Not now.
Never. He's too loyal.
Yeah, well, you say that. Sol Campbell did, didn't he?
Well, he did, yeah.
I mean, one of our greatest defenders in modern history. Yeah. But I think the money would be a dividing factor. And let's be fair, Man United are going to go all out with this Erik ten Hag. And I hope he gets supported. Not that I want Man United to win anything, but, you know, I have a lot of respect for Man United as our old rivals from back in the day when it was Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger and the battles we used to have with each other. So, you know, I admire Harry Kane. Unfortunately, he's played for a crap club and never achieved sod all and probably won't. So I think, mate, if I was you, I'd be looking to go in the summer.
Yeah, and they won't let him go. That's the problem. They literally won't let him go because they're clinging on to that Son and Kane relationship because it's what provides the goals in that team, if we're being fair. It is. You know, when they're in the gutter, who scores? Son or Kane? Every time. And, you know, I'm not gonna say Harry Kane's you know, as a player good for Tottenham because I hate Tottenham with a passion. And, you know, it's North London Derby week. I'm not giving them anything to hate on me, okay? I hate them, and that's just the end of the story. I was born to hate that club. It's what it is. I hate them with literally.
It's funny, you know. So many people have said to me, Lee Gunner, he doesn't see Arsenal as our right. Sorry, he doesn't see Spurs as our rivals, and I had quite a few people said, you know, he's not a real gunner. Now, look, I'm just going to say this. He is a real gunner, but he wasn't born in North London. So he doesn't see the rivalry of its bragging rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spurs have won jack shit for a long, long time. But this goes back to the 20s and the 30s. And it's gone all the way through history for time. That is what people talk about rivalries, not rivalry in what Arsenal have won and what Spurs have won. It's
geographical.
It's a bad next door neighbour.
Yeah.
You're arguing over the fence. That's what it's all about. And I was brought up with it. Gracie, you've been brought up with it. Loads of people in the chat have been brought up with it. You know, and it's the classic one, isn't it? Jack Ramsey's watching. You know, what is the rivalry between Brighton and Palace?
Yeah.
Because they've been rivals for donkeys and donkeys and donkeys years, but they're nearly 40 miles apart. You know.
Yeah.
So, is it because it's the Eagles against the Seagulls? I honestly don't know. I know a lot of Brighton fans and Palace fans, to be fair. And I've said to them, so what's the rivalry then amongst you two? What is it all about? And no one can answer me. It's just, I don't know. It's just something that's happened.
No, that's it. And this is, you know, especially in my family, we look forward to derby days. We make an occasion out of it. That's how big it is. In terms of, you know, competing with trophies, yeah, Man United, they were our big rivals. You know, it was season after season after season, you know, a battle between two great managers, you know, every time. And in terms of trophies, yeah, but we're talking something that dates back so far past all of that Arsenal Man United. You know, this is deep in North London. You know, you're on two sides. If you see a Tottenham fan walking in Arsenal, the Arsenal end, you're gonna have a problem. You know, and it's the thing of like, it's like when you see, you know, in recent times Spurs fans walking along Highbury. That wouldn't really happen. If we're talking a few years back, that would never happen. You wouldn't even make it near the road.
I'll tell you this though, when I was going to a game latter part last season, this season, but last year, I was walking down Highbury Hill, which, if you don't know, it's right the other side. It's the west side stand of Highbury, and there was a car parked there, Gracie.
Yeah.
Right, nice BMW. Right. Yeah, and it had a Spurs sticker in the rear windscreen. How that windscreen or a rear window was still in that car? Because I'll tell you what, if that been back in the day, that car wouldn't even been there. It'd been in pieces.
Yeah.
That was never ever going to happen back in time. But that's how football's changed. You know,
Yeah.
And the thing is, you got to remember, you know, Tottenham's grounds and the Emirates or the old Highbury, they're within a mile. They're literally on top of each other. So, you know, it's all silly ones like, talk about rivalries. You've got Chelsea, Fulham north of the river, Chelsea south of the river. But in London, back in the days, the biggest rivalry, if you want to put it like that, was Chelsea-West Ham.
Yeah.
And West Ham Millwall. You know, and I mean, dear God, in them days, West Ham Millwall, if they ever played, it was just, that was a war. But yeah, I mean, it's that's how it is. It's all as you quite rightly say. You know, it's the fact that Arsenal and Tottenham, they're sat on top of each other.
Yeah, literally. And you know, this is a good example in my family. I think my mum's told me this story before. It's when you're not allowed to date anyone that isn't an Arsenal fan, basically. If you are not a football fan, you will surely be converted swiftly into an Arsenal fan in this family. And it's like my granddad, my mum bought, you know, had met a boy at school, brought him home for dinner or whatever, and then the first question that gets asked was, what team do you support? Dare you say anything but Arsenal, because you're not coming round, you'll be walking back. And it has happened. It has literally happened. And you know, it's hilarious. So that's how big it is, that, you know, in my family especially, I'm sure it is for many others as well. But answering to a question about Palace and Brighton, the hate between the clubs was born in the 1970s after a series of controversial matches, causing a minor feud between Brighton manager Alan Bullery and Palace boss Terry Venables. I hope I said that right, but there we go.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, so I've learned something. Thank you for that.
There we go. Every day's a school day, people. And we are going to wrap it up here. Thank you for coming on, Jez. Your channel link is in the description. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you go over to Jez's channel and subscribe. What's your channel about, Jez? Tell the people.
It's mainly about the Arsenal history. I'm going to try and drop a couple this week. I haven't done about the Arsenal history for over a week. But it's also other stuff. Match reviews, blah, blah, and all that. And I'm actually planning at the end of the season of doing a quiz. A general quiz of football. It won't just be about Arsenal. It'll be about Palace, Chelsea, so loads of people can jump in. And the other thing I want to do is, I have guests on like Gracie, Kenny. I've got Warren coming on at some point soon, Del Boy, Kyle. And at the end of the season, the one and only Mr. Gunner has promised to come on after the season's finished because, Lee's a very, very busy guy with all his other channels he does or goes on and his own. But he has said, so I'm looking to do a great one there with Lee, Gracie and Kenny. So if we can get that arranged, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll just look at this. Bermondsey born and bred out. Do a quiz about Millwall. Jez, Kenny will be stuck there. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Kenny knows anything and everything about football. When I did the quiz on Leeds, I tried to throw as many different things as possible.
It was a good quiz, though. It was a great quiz.
It was good. I was proud of that quiz. It was great. But no, definitely got to arrange it.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to sort it. I will do it. I'll get you and some other. Kenny's always up for a quiz.
Yeah.
And I think I'll probably try and get you on, Kenny, Warren, and whoever else, wants to jump in. And it'd be a bit of fun, really. But I will be getting back into doing the history part. I'm going to try and whiz through the next part of it so we can start getting into the really interesting times of Arsenal when they get in the Division 1 and all that. But, yeah.
Amazing. Make sure you like and subscribe, people. Tomorrow I have a full match preview with Del Boy, Northside potentially, and Prince Fuad. So that will be out live at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. And yes, we're going to be gearing up to the North London derby. We've touched on a bit here, talking about the past, talking about our views on the future, but there'll be quite an in-depth analysis on what we think in some past games as well in the season. And then at the end of the season, I am planning to do a season review, going over each little detail, and then I look forward to watching the Amazon documentary, which will come out in a few months. I'm sure I'll get a reaction for each episode and for you guys to enjoy. But for now, that is me. I'll be back again tomorrow night. So I'll see you then, and come on, you Gunners.
And Arteta out.
Arteta out.